Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Onward VR Master League. We've got a fantastic matchup for you today, a challenge match between Lords of War and Ember here in Season 9, Week 2. I am your caster, Noman with a 4, and I am joined by a full desk today. I have got my good friend and co-caster, Wookie. How are you doing, my man, Wookie?
Hey, Noman, I am doing very good. Just watching that Super Bowl, and man, I'm just feeling pumped after watching that game.
Yeah.
So I'm really looking forward to this matchup between Ember and Lords of War.
It is a competitive day for sure. Super Bowl going on. If you're here with us in the channel in Master League 2 and joining us instead of on the Super Bowl or in tandem, we do very much appreciate it. We're going to be bringing you a ton of action. There's also going to be some action on Master League 1 here in about a half an hour as well. So no shortage of Onward, and joining us from the correspondence desk is my good friend TFH. How you doing, Todd?
Pretty good, man. I'm also skipping the Super Bowl, but that's because I just don't have any interest. But I am also hyped because I just casted another game before. So, yeah, roughly the same, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, it is... I'm more excited about this than I am about the Super Bowl. I can't lie about it. But it's just because Onward's so good. You know, like, you just can't... Exactly. Why would you not want to watch it? It's ridiculous. Okay, well, we have got just a little bit of time before the teams file in and start. So we're going to go over the bans from the teams. Wookie, let's take our folks at home through the bans. What's coming out for Lords of War?
Sure. So Lords of War have decided to ban Tanker. Now, of course, as you know, as a cameraman, you love that. But I really actually enjoy Tanker a lot, so I'm kind of disappointed to see that map getting banned today.
Yeah, it's a tough map. I can understand the ban against a team like Ember with quick plays. I am usually Shields is what controls that map, and Ember is not known for having a strong shield player. I don't know that anybody uses it regularly on that team. So I wonder if it's just a Lords of War weak spot that they're trying to cover. What about from the Ember side?
So Ember has decided to ban Subway. So two very similar maps out of the way. No night maps tonight. Subway is it's a lot of tight corridors, but a lot of that's going to be missing now. So no more tight corridors and
yeah, there's not a lot of options on both of those maps, right? Those they're fairly linear. I mean, Subway's got a few different entrances, but depending on the objective, you can almost always laser in on where the offense is going to be coming from. So we're going to be left with a lot of open maps, a lot of high octane sniper, long lane coverage type engagements. And the first map choice, which is going to be the Lords of War pick, if I'm not mistaken. They are home in this engagement, and we'll be starting out on Marsoc. And the first map is going to be Bazaar. And Bazaar it's just one of those maps that as a caster, I love it. As a player, I just can't wrap my head around it. Wookie, do you have the same love-hate with it, or are you a big fan?
I don't know. I'm not a big fan. No.
Yeah, and this, you're probably the first caster to agree with this with me, because I've just never been one for loving it. And there's some diehard fans of Bazaar out there that tell me that I'm wrong and it's like the best map in the game. And I was like, have you seen Quarantine? It's fantastic.
I do like Bazaar, but there's been some new maps that have been growing on me. I think the one thing I do like about Bazaar is that you do have some of those tight corridors that I had just mentioned, but you also have that long range element to the whole, like, you could see very far across the map down the street. So yeah, I mean, it's got a little bit of everything, and especially this objective that they are going to be fighting over, very tight back alley. So
yeah, they're going to be fighting the first round for the what is it called, Center OBJ. It's going to be the one on the Humvee. I'm, as being a team member of Blaze, I just want to use my own call outs for it, and I know that people in the league they just get triggered every time I do it. So I have to learn the standard call outs again for casters. It's been a while since I've casted. But yeah, it should be an interesting matchup nonetheless between these two teams. I think we've got everybody in the lobby here. Should just be getting underway in a few moments. What are your thoughts on this matchup in general, Wookie? I'm not going to ask you to pick, but what are you kind of feeling? What do you think is going to happen here?
Man, I try to avoid predictions after my last cast with Nightfire, but I'm predicting that this will at least be a very competitively close matchup. I mean, Lords of War has a great roster behind them, and Ember are no joke. You know, they put up a fight.
Yeah, that's the safe prediction is what you went with there. I think these teams have I don't want to call it a storied rivalry. It is, but I think both are relatively new. I mean, not new teams, but kind of shifting and fresher teams. But their matches have always been fun. It's one of the reasons I picked this cast up is both of these teams know how to have a good time. They know how to play well to each other's strengths and weaknesses, and it makes for really exciting matchups. I know the teams were looking forward to it, and I've definitely been looking forward to it myself. Yeah, I'm not gonna put all my eggs in the basket, mostly because there's a conflict of interest with me and Ember anyway. So I'm going to steer clear of the entire situation and leave it up to the players and the guns to decide. While we wait for the teams to ready up and start this first round, I do want to take just a moment and thank our sponsors, VR Cover and ProTube VR. They've sponsored us for quite some time. You've heard us, if you've tuned into any cast, you know exactly what I'm about to say. Fantastic products, really great if you love playing VR. I use them, tons of the players use them, casters use it. It's just fantastic. Go check them out. And I do want to thank everybody for, again, tuning in and hanging out with us. We do appreciate it. Taking your time away from your families and your Super Bowls and your regular bowls, and coming here to hang out with us and watch some Onward. We're gonna get these guys going here. Let me just, yeah, there we go. We've sent them the go-ahead, and we should be diving into the action very shortly here. I'm excited, Wookie. Okay, for this objective, and I'm not asking you to give up super secret Mayhem strats, but do you prefer the fast play or do you prefer the slow, sweeping, clear style of play?
You know, I respect the fast play on this objective because it is very effective if pulled off correctly, but it's also very risky, so you have to have that tight team cohesion. So we like to minimize risk, and I like to play it slow, you know, and I'll go down around the southeast. I'll loop around or somewhere around that kind of direction because I like to get behind the objective and just see where all the positions are or hear where people are shooting from.
Yeah, you want to get as much information as possible. Well, the defense is underway, and we're going to see what the Lords of War offense looks like as we're seeing the smokes coming out on the eastern side. There's only one member of Ember actually in that courtyard, but there is, as you can see with the lasers there, a little bit of coverage coming in from that center room. We'll see if they're able to get across the east easily. Lumpy's going to be the first one to try to cross. He does make it. No shots from the defense ringing out. Going to have to deal with Hailfire here, but I think Hail is tucked in. Nice and quiet. Brad and Hangman hanging back, making sure there's no defensive flankers here. I don't... Take a look at the overhead map here real quick. Yeah, that defense from Ember, I kind of like it. You know, it's different. I haven't seen a defense like this.
Yeah.
It's spread a little wide is really kind of my only problem on Bazaar. You need to be able to make it back to your angles quickly. And they're going to have a hard time. Hailfire especially is a bit ways off the objective. We'll see how that pans out as we're about a minute and 30 in with no action to speak of just yet.
They have that great line of scrimmage, though, going down there, covering the whole entire east side as being filled with Marsoc players, and they have a great peek into that building right there where the objective is next to, and they've got a lot of cover too. It's really hard to shoot people from around that tank on the east side.
Yeah, that cross is so short and so difficult to nail that shot when they do make that rush. It's a tough call to make. We're seeing some frags coming out, some equipment coming out from the west side, maybe draw some attention away, but he's already been found out. That is Ryan there in the distance. And he's kind of being looked at. Let's pop in here to the objective, see. Yeah, so Switch here is also a little bit of danger if he decides to peek this for too long. Brad's got a nice little angle on it. If he doesn't give up on it too long, I imagine he's going to catch a defender, but no, he decides to cross, as most players often do. Ryan finding Milkman on a nice peek in the window of the objective building, and the call out comes out. That is down. Switch sending an 8 out, not going to find anything. It's a lot of action here. C-Max finds one, Hailfire finds another, and quickly Lords of War lose 2. Hailfire is going to have a little bit of work cut out for him here, as he's got 2 coming through the south that have slipped past.
Yeah, Hailfire completely went right by them, and he's flanking all the way around the east now, and I don't think, oh, is he going to go back south? He is. He's going back south. He might catch these 2 off guard if they're not careful.
Yeah, this could be huge. Lumpy here would be the first one to be spotted. Does Hailfire see him on the cross? He might spot Hangman. He does. The shots come out. Hailfire finds himself a second. Now Lumpy is aware. If he stays quiet, ooh, he's decided to move a little bit. Will this be the information Hailfire needs, or is he just going to run into these bullets? Oh, he runs right into the bullets. Lumpy picking up the flanker there, evening things out a little bit. We're in a 3v2. The defense holding pretty strong so far, but they're going to have to deal with that southern offensive player. Only 2 left. Now it's Ryan in the west and Lumpy in the east as they make their approach more towards the southern side. The defense, pretty good spots.
Yeah, they did a great job of not getting picked off by that eastern flank that I had mentioned earlier. That's the biggest exposure that position that J-Lo and Switch are both operating in right now. Is if they're not careful, they'll get picked off in that eastern position, but they did a great job staying in that building alive. Oh, C-Max with that more exposed positioning gets picked off by Ryan.
Yeah, it was a very long angle for Ryan to take.
Yeah, that was a great shot.
Oh, and J-Lo's gonna pop out and get himself taken down as well. Not aware of that southern push, and just like that, Lords of War are turning a 2v3 into a 2v1 as Switch, the last one alive.
You hate it when you're the last guy alive. You look at your tablet and you used to have 3 dots there. Now it's just 1 dot and it's you, and it's terrifying.
Oh, the dread.
They could be coming in from any direction.
Yeah, and
they usually do.
We're riding along here with Switch's first-person view as he rotates around. You want to get the feel for sort of the amount of work you have to do as being the lone defender. You can't just sit still. There's multiple places that the enemy can cap from. You don't want to give anybody a free 2 points. It's always better to die than to get capped on.
I think Switch here's Lumpy. No, he doesn't.
And unfortunately for Switch, Lumpy does find the peak there. No cap comes out, but Lords of War come away with 1 point. All right, Lumpy there picking up 3 kills. And Ryan with 2 coming in from the west. It was a fantastic pinch play by Lords of War. What were your thoughts on that first round, Wookie?
That you can't underestimate that southeast approach. The attackers have a lot of cover that they can leapfrog through, and it can just wreak havoc on the defensive side of things because that south exposure is real. There's a lot of windows they could shoot you through, and you kind of assume that your team has your back, right? But the south is like the metaphorical the back of the team, and if that's not covered, then all hell can break loose.
Yeah, it's danger, Will Robinson, danger. It's a lot of work to have to cover both the north and the south. That's why those eastern and western defenders are so key, and when you lose them, it really, it falls apart, and you can see how it falls apart there. It's just a lot to cover when you have to rotate, 360 degrees to try to get full eyes on possible approaches. Ember.
That south approach is just so strong, As an attacker, you can't ignore it, and it's easily underestimatable as a defensive player.
Absolutely. I don't know what Ember could have done there. I mean, losing Hailfire on that long rotation, I think if I was Hailfire, I would have gotten that pick and I would have set up on that street and just looked for anybody to cross from south to north. You know what I mean? Lumpy would not have been able to make that cross.
Yeah, if he had played more reservedly and just watched that cross across the street, he would have played it very safe, and he probably could have scored a kill.
Well, we're going to see what Ember's offense looks like as they get the mirrored spawn. They're going to be spawning on the east side as well.
I'm going to the left side of
2-3 split.
Yeah, we're seeing it's pretty similar, right? We saw the same 3 on the east, 2 heading either directly towards the north or 1 heading out towards far west. No one in the west so far. They've sort of tucked in.
There's a guy left side. He went far out to the west.
Ooh, Switch spotting out Lumpy on that rotation. A good eye, a very short cross there.
He's across the street.
To spot out, and now Lumpy is going to be in trouble as his position is known. He's going to need to, I think if he just stays tucked in, he's going to cause enough pressure just from the sheer panic of it all to keep Ember slowed up here for a little bit. Smoke.
Yeah, Lumpy's going to have his work cut out for him. Oh, maybe not. They're going to walk right into each other. Well, Lumpy saw him anyways. Switch, on the other hand, I don't think he knew where he died from.
Yeah, I'm not sure Switch was looking exactly in that direction, but Lumpy does find the first pick of the round, and Ember down to 4 men.
He just walked. I'm surprised the defender didn't see him walking over here, but
I think he took a couple of shots from the defense. I don't know that he was completely unaware. You know what? Hold on, I have to give up on that angle because there's a long flank here. Ryan on the back side in the northwest courtyard's coming up behind. How did he even get up here? These players are so sneaky.
My goodness.
This is so dangerous for Milkman and Hailfire. I don't think they're going to be ready. J-Lo does find Lumpy in the east, so a little bit of pressure relieved there, but if Ryan pushes out here, he could catch the back of Hailfire. I'm actually going to pop out and see.
Oh, Ryan's looking now. He wants whoever just shot their gun. Hailfire is going to go down to Ryan's beautiful headshot.
That was a very nice little flank there by Ryan. He's out of danger. I don't think he knows Milkman is there.
Yeah, I don't think he does. I don't know what Milkman's doing. Okay, well, I guess he's repositioning away from that region. He's like, get me out of here. This is dangerous.
Well, I mean, can you blame him?
Maybe the bazaar is not that safe after all. No, but it's a good reposition by Milkman right now. I was at first I was questioning what he was doing, but now I see clearly. Got that caster vision going.
Exactly. You can see clearly now. The rain is gone, I think a famous wise man once said. Yeah, Milkman getting out of danger. I thought we were going to see like a flank on a flank, but he did decide to tuck in on the street instead.
Yeah, is Milkman going to see Brad? I wonder.
He does. He does indeed. Brad going down on the objective, and this is so dangerous. They've only got Hangman with eyes on. Milkman's pushing through. Is he going to spot him out? He does. Milkman has got 2, and the objective is wide open. There's no one here.
Wide open. Do they know that, though? They must be playing it super safe. I don't think they've been calling out kill shots. I don't know if they know the kill count right now.
Milkman gets in this building. It's all over. Oh, Milkman.
Oh, he's going for the cap.
He's going to get it because Fitz is rushing the offense on the other side. J-Lo doing the distraction work, and Ember is going to find 2 points on their offensive round on a very nice play by Milkman. What a fantastic read.
That's the Ember I was hoping to see come into the game. They had a rough game against Mayhem earlier this week, so this is actually a challenge match. I don't know if you mentioned that earlier or not, but so this is off the heels of a game that they definitely wanted to win earlier this week.
Yeah, they have definitely. They've had a great start. I mean, they have a fantastic start to these 2 weeks. They've started off on a stronger foot. I believe last season they started with like an 0-3 or an 0-4 record, and to start in week 2, already winning, I think, did they win 2 games and lose 1? I can't quite remember what the stats are.
I think that they did.
Which is just a great start for them, and to come out like that on their first offensive round, looking pretty good for sure. I'm excited to see how Lords of War answers back. I mean, a cap this early, we hear about it a lot. It can be a little demoralizing. You know, it can be a little, you can like, oh man, I really let. And that defense by Lords of War deserved to be capped on. They were nowhere near that objective.
They got punished for that. They were extended much too far away from the objective. I mean, it was a risky, bold move, and it didn't pay off. So, in fact, they got punished for it. So, it's Ember is currently 2-1, like you mentioned, just confirming that. The last, usually they lose to Lords of War. The last 4 times that they played them, they lost. Well, sorry, let me say it better. They lost 3 games to Lords of War, but last season they won for the first time. And so I wonder if they'll win again.
Yeah, so that's that storied, semi-storied rivalry I was talking about. These teams have played each other quite a bit. I know they scrim relatively often, so they kind of know each other's play styles, and the games can be so exciting in that way, because when you know your opponent quite well, the maneuvers you have to make to do things like what Milkman just succeeded in doing there, it takes quite a bit of skill, right? Because both sides know, kind of what's on your mind, and great set on both sides so far. Todd, did you catch that last round? What were your thoughts?
Oh yeah, very good cap from Milkman there, just displaying that strategic awareness that realizing that the last person is a mile away off of objective and just going for that code in a very ambitious spot. He wasn't behind the box there, which is the normal place where we see people capping. He was in front of the box, very open. He knew he had that.
I mean, I was shocked he wasn't inside the building. You can cap from the inside of the door in the building with a lot of cover. He went for it.
He literally chose the most dangerous spot he could.
He absolutely went for it. The madman.
Madman, yeah.
Well, we had. Oh, go ahead, Wookie.
Oh no, I think that kill count factor comes into play there. If he had known that it was just one guy left, he probably would have ran inside the building. But I don't think he knew how many people were still up. But he's like, well, I'm right here. Might as well grab my tablet and go for it.
Yeah, and it was a great read indeed. We've got both members of Ember who had dropped out back in the match, so I expect we will be starting up here soon. The objective has shifted to the East Hotel, so we're going to be seeing a new objective here for this third round. I don't know. I haven't really gotten a good read on their playstyle. That flank by Ryan was I don't think I've ever seen anybody run that long of a flank and be so successful at it. Getting across that street is so dangerous to try to do. I wonder if we're going to be seeing a lot of that in this match. All right, we are now getting ourselves right on into round 3.
Right. It's that left side. Coming out of the tunnel to the left side, right? Yeah.
All right. Ember getting set up. Let's pop in with the Lords of War folk. Oh my goodness, the gun on Brad here. He's got the hollow with the 2X and the drum mag and the suppressor. Good lord, this guy is ready for war. I like this setup. The defense spread pretty nicely across that northeast courtyard. Lumpy with the quick rush through Coyote. He's already on this front room side. Milkman taking a few suppressive shots here. Should give Lumpy an opportunity to push in a little bit, should he choose to do so. Is he running an ACOG as well? What are these loadouts?
I saw some crazy loadouts in that game earlier against, who was that?
Animal House and Beginners?
Yes. Animal House had some funky loadouts.
Ooh, Hailfire's getting lasered in on right now. Lumpy's got eyes on. He's taking shots. Hailfire does catch a few bullets in the behind, but he is still alive. That's what matters.
The roof of that shack, the aluminum, it stopped the bullets.
Oh, he's lucky they did. The callouts coming in because now Ryan is making the callouts. Milkman, meanwhile, does find Lumpy on that aggressive positioning. He's got 2 more just waiting there on that corner.
Hailfire is absolutely pinned right now.
Yeah, Lumpy was the main problem, but I don't think he knows that that person is down. C-Max is going to find Hangman on a push through the north, and now it's up to Brad here in Kayat. Where is the... Oh, he's coming around through the southeast. If we take a look at our overhead map, you can see the little flanker there coming through the southeast. They're going to have to deal with him sooner rather than later, but they do have a defender watching that street cross. He should not sneak past. Hailfire still.
We'll see. I think Milkman just heard Brad.
Yeah, Brad's definitely making...
Oh, Hailfire almost caught him. Hailfire almost caught him.
And take a look at that loadout. Look at that. Ridiculous.
Yeah, he looks like something out of like a Navy SEAL movie.
He's so ready. We'll see if Milkman is going to be ready here. And SliderCon on a long rotation there gets caught out by Fitz. And that flank might actually work out quite well. Hailfire is going to have to be the one covering the street.
Brad is so close to Milkman right now. Oh, he might come rushing around the corner. He just gave himself away in the most awkward position.
Brad and Lightshaper are just both looking at each other with lasers.
Staring at each other. They just, that 1 inch, if either of them move at all, they might actually see each other.
I wonder if Lightshaper's like, why is my teammate shooting at me? Isn't Milkman in it?
I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh, Milk just spotted him.
Oh, no, here it is.
Oh, and the rush from Milk does find Brad and loosens up a little bit of the pressure there as Fitz will be looking to make his way across the street. Somehow he makes it without Hailfire spotting him? Is that what I just saw? Did Hailfire miss?
Hailfire not only missed, but then who is that over there? Didn't see him because Lightshaper, he thought it was his friend.
Oh my goodness.
It was just like a series of little mistakes that just kept coming.
A series of unfortunate events.
Yes, thank you.
Fitz is now looking towards Milkman's position. They're going to have to be careful on these rotations, and Milkman almost catches a round or two for his troubles. Ryan is slowly creeping up on that side, but he's got a lot of work to do there. Lightshaper and C-Max all sitting on the objective. This is like the you're not going to cap, I don't care what happens defense, you know?
Hopefully Ryan has a grenade on him because it would massively pay off right about now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Hailfire's getting into a good little position here on the edge of the street. He should be able to catch Fitz if he tries to cross. I like that little blue room spot. It's a cheeky little position to get into, especially if you know that there is a flanker. I wonder.
Yeah, he's just watching that street.
Ryan now making the same approach, spots the dead body. Fitz will find C-Max on an interesting rotation here.
Yeah, I think what happened was C-Max just got bored. And he's just like, there's too many people in the same area. I'm going to go around this wall, and then that's the biggest mistake of your life.
If I know C-Max, that's exactly what happened. And the trade coming out. Ryan picking up one, Milkman with the trade. And now it's a 1-to-1. One is resable, so there is still comms on objective. They don't necessarily have to rotate back.
But we just know Hailfire is going to come in and save the day.
Oh, this is perfect. Oh, this is perfect for Hailfire. He's got the trail to show him where the offense is coming from. Fitz rushes the corner, but he finds the shots. And Lords of War will take that round.
Unbelievable.
What a great play. A nice snapshot there by Fitz, finding Hailfire on that cross. if I was Hailfire, I would have just sat there and waited. Where was he gonna go that I wasn't gonna see? You know what I mean?
It was that defender panic where you know you have to crash, and you know that there's an enemy between you and the objective because you're just so far away. I think he thought he could slip by. I guess, I don't know. His lasers were pointed at him.
It's gotta be not having kill count, right? I mean, that's the situation in which you decide to actually run instead of use your. What I'm saying is the smoke.
Exactly.
The smoke was perfect for Hailfire because you could see where it was coming from, but it had to have been that he just did not have an accurate count on members alive, and so he didn't want to have anybody sneak through the black tunnel where Milkman couldn't see him. Some such nonsense probably was going through his head, but nonetheless, a very intense down to a 1v1 there. Lords of War tie the series up 2-2. Todd, what are your thoughts on that round?
Yeah, Hailfire was not exactly aware of the situation. He did have the smokes kind of leading to him, but I think it was either that A, he had an inaccurate kill count, like you said, B, he thought he could take on Fitz by running or by sneaking toward him and kind of using like a slower approach, maybe more stealthy, but whatever it is, Fitz took it to him and was able to emerge victorious.
Absolutely. All right. Well, we are getting ourselves into another round as round 4 will be kicking off. Oh. Excuse me, game. Sorry about that. All right, we are now into our 4th round now that my Onward decided to cooperate with me. And Lords of War on the defense. Ember does get that quick spawn. We've seen mirrored spawns both sets of objectives so far.
What luck, you know?
I know.
It must be nice.
We've already got defenders on the inside. Hangman pushes the corner. Milkman will win the trade with the assistance of SliderCon on the push, and Fitz should be aware of Slider's position here. Ryan is on that. He's on that flank again. I've got to be up here. Oh, and C-Max catches the wrong end of the flank as he pushes across. And Ryan will find another. Milkman now looking for the culprit.
Hopefully Ryan will find Milkman. He can't possibly think he's alone. Oh, there it is.
And that is a fantastic shot. Those flanks from Ryan just working out in spades this game. Hailfire, however, will start to even things out and make it a 3-3 with that pick onto the stairs. Fitz.
Well, that's bad.
Slider and Fitz just right next to each other.
Fitz threw that name and was like, well, that's bad. Yeah, you are correct, Fitz. That was not a fantastically thrown grenade, but
I think he was trying to throw it behind him, so it blinded Slider.
Yeah. It would have been like a sweet, like, over-the-shoulder backbone.
Very like Hollywood.
trying to get fancy on me in round 4, Fitz.
Right? It's a little early to get fancy.
Yeah. It's still a tied series here. Slider and Lightshaper pushed up pretty close to the objective. I mean, if we take a look at the overall coverage, there almost is none. Lumpy is the coverage. But Ryan, on his push through, will find the back of Hailfire, and that is going to even things up in the direction of Lords of War a little bit. Fitz now heading back towards the objective. Slider should have heard all of that movement.
Yeah, Lightshaper definitely heard it, and he's got his barrel trained in his direction.
I feel like Ryan just has like a Splinter Cell and invisibility cloak.
Ryan is seriously just...
Turn your head, Ryan. Turn your head to the left.
Come on, Sal.
Ryan. Just check.
Hello?
There it is. There's the check.
And
There we
there's
go.
the headshot, and that is going to make it a 3v1 as Ryan... he's done a full lap. I mean, he's basically run.
I was just about to comment, like, I am blown away by how well this flanker/roamer defensive strategy is working out for them.
I mean, it was dangerous, right? Like, had somebody picked up Fitz, had there been I'm shocked Slider didn't hear Fitz comment on his own bad nade and go around that corner to kill him. But had somebody picked him up, Lumpy was really the only one, and he wasn't in a good defensive position. You can prone up and cap.
You totally can from up use position and not even see it at all. But now with this coverage with Ryan up here on the pallet, I think it's pretty solid.
Well,
Ryan's been calling out all of his kills, so they know the kill count.
We're going to ride along with Slider here as he tries to turn this around for his Ember boys. He's staying absolutely quiet, moving as slowly as possible. This makes as little noise as possible in this game. Actually, I think you make no noise.
Yeah, I think that's a little ridiculous.
I know,
but
yeah.
That's how it is.
Yeah.
And, if you just move slow enough, you're literally Splinter Cell.
That's Ryan's got that on, but when he sprints, because that guy has been all over the map. I think he's made it to quarantine and back by now. I'm just assuming that Bazaar and Quarantine are like in the same canon, you know, like they're in the same sections of the world map. And the shots from Ryan, long range, will find Slider as he tries to creep his way in, and Lords of War will take the lead here again for the first time, actually, since the first round.
Did Ryan just ace that?
I think he did. I think so. He got those two in the beginning. He got Lightshaper. He got Slider. Did he get the fifth? He must have gotten the fifth one.
If I may chime in, Hailfire did get a kill that round, I believe.
True. But what we're saying is Ryan got all 5 kills. He's got 10 on the game so far, which is good lord.
Well, no, you're right. What am I saying?
Yeah, I mean, a great play there basically by Ryan. He roamed the map. He found the right angles. He found the right picks.
Everyone on Volk did their jobs. They got shot while he flanked. It was perfect.
Exactly. No, it was a great series overall. I mean, your one player really is only as good as the rest of your team allows you to be. Do you know what I mean?
Exactly. They all enabled Ryan to his full potential there. I mean, the defensive coverage itself was pretty solid, but clearly a little exposed because they all, seemingly got picked off. But man, they were betting on Ryan to come through with that flank, and he certainly did.
In spades. A fantastic play overall by Lords of War, and that's going to put them on to map point here. Ember on the defense, going to be looking to try to hold on. And we won't have to wait too much longer. The Coyote objective is the next one we're going to be dealing with here.
This is the most stressful as a defender to defend at all in all of Bazaar.
I've played this game for 1,000 hours. I've cast it for, God, it feels like 1,000 hours. And I still don't know where to go on this objective.
I know. It's just like, do you stand upstairs, downstairs? It's so hard. You got to be really in tune with the vibe of the match, that round.
It is very much your opponent. You know what I mean? I feel like it's however your opponent plays the offense is how you set up the defense. So you have to be so vigilant and study the tapes and study the plays and understand your opponents better. Because, you play too far back and you sit back and try to watch, and you'll get the rushers who, push up into the corner and cap. And if you play aggressive, you'll run into the slow players who clear their corners and wait for defenders to push out. And, sometimes it feels like you play this objective enough times so you never win it,
Yeah. It's a very tricky objective, to say the least. It's such an easy approach from the north where you just come in through the back door. Oh, Slider finds Ryan.
He's going to have to deal with 2 more, as now Brad and Hangman both hearing the shots and reacting to them. But Slider tucks in. He's got a nice little position here. We'll take a look at the overhead map and see where the rest of the teams are setting up. So yeah, we've got that long, I think I know who's on that long flank in the west. And then we've got one in the center there at Union.
Slider is looking for that north cross, but this kill that he just got has him fully invested in finding Slider. Marsoc are just looking for him, but it looks like they've given up and they're just gonna keep on moving.
to their
on
detriment,
trucking.
potentially. If Slider can land these shots, he's going to have to be vigilant as Hangman pops that corner, but he is not. Oh, he's got the cross.
He saw them. Ooh. Yeah, awkward.
That is an unfortunate situation. It does do a good thing, though. Like, we talk about
does.
giving away your position, but it does slow up the offense, right? It throws them off their rhythm a little bit.
Slider's kind of panicking. He's washing the back door, making sure he's not gonna get flanked. I don't know who he hears. I don't think there's anyone over there. So yeah,
He may be hearing the comms of, is that Fitz there? Yeah,
it's
maybe hearing the
Fitz.
comms of Fitz on the other side. Lumpy is going to find Hailfire on that flank in the west. I was wrong. It wasn't Ryan on that western flank. I thought for sure that was going to be him running around the west, but no, Lumpy is the one. Finds the nice pick on the defender, rotating out in the open, and Brad getting a little jumpy in the tunnel. Gets picked up by Slider. Slider now pushing into this corner. Hangman hasn't checked his tablet. I don't think he knows who's alive and who's not. Slider's hearing the footsteps. The shots ring out, and he finds another Slider with 3 on the round.
He just wasn't ready. He kind of peeked that corner and was a little late on the response. It's a very slow peek. It cost his life.
I get yelled at all the time for my slow peaks. I just can't. I'm the captain of my team, and I get yelled at all the time. You know, isn't that just how it works?
It's to what you said, right? I mean, if he had checked his tablet, he would have known before peeking that corner what kind of peek he would have had to do.
Yeah, I don't think he was aware at all that they had lost a teammate.
Yeah, so always check your tablet after what sounds like a quick exchange of gunfire.
That's the general rule. I always let my team know if I don't hear from you, I assume you're dead.
Yeah, exactly. It's been about 30 seconds since I've heard Potato say anything, so he must be dead.
Yep.
You know?
That's exactly the way. And, you know, when it's so fast-paced on maps like on Cargo, especially, or Tanker, you don't have time. You know, you don't have time to be pulling out tablets and tucking in and asking questions. You just have to go with your gut.
You gotta go with the flow, exactly. I mean, it's too fast-paced. Pulling out your tablet means you're probably gonna die if someone comes peeking that corner.
God, if that is not the most accurate statement I've ever heard about Onward. If you take out your tablet, you're probably gonna die.
Yeah, that's why I don't check mine.
That's the Onward tagline.
It's checking tablets and taking drum mags. If you take a drum mag, you're marked for death. All right, so you get 5 rounds off it, and then you're toast.
Yeah. I never use those. I just can't. Only when I'm given them. If I start with them, I'm fine. But if somebody tries to hand them to me, it's the
try to give the curse away.
You try to give me a kill, teammate. Lumpy with a couple of smokes here in the north. The placement's actually really good on that first one. The green one, not quite as good.
Because it covers that window.
Oh, you're right.
There's a defender up there.
That's true. No defenders up there this time, but Lumpy's on the rotation, and Slider will find Fitz on his push through the west courtyard. And Ember's defense looking absolutely rock solid here.
Yeah.
And I should say more specifically, Slider looking rock solid here as he picks up 4 on the round, and Lumpy will be the first to draw blood in 5 minutes.
You know, Lumpy's kind of painted himself into a corner here. He's got 30 seconds, and the whole team knows where he is.
Yeah, he didn't have a lot of options. He's got to take his shots. He doesn't have an accurate kill count, almost definitely. He knows the defense is stacked up here. He's got to be hearing them. And he's pushing the corner. Light Shaper does not win that trade, and Lumpy's upstairs. Could this be another cap? No, 8 seconds left. He's going to go for kills. Milkman's going to go down. The shots ring out. No tuck-in defense. Lumpy!
No way.
Lumpy!
Wow.
With the
John Wick.
M9 headshot. Pistol headshot for the win. The defense, all they had to do was tuck in and wait out the extra couple of seconds, but Lumpy on a miracle play in the last 30 seconds gets that round for Lords of War. Holy cow, Todd. Are you shaking?
Play of the week.
Lumpy for Rambo 2020.
That was phenomenal. It was an absolutely phenomenal play by Lumpy.
Phenomenal. yeah, to be able to manage that, just to be able to manage the time management on that is an incredible skill on its own, let alone being able to just instinctively pull out your pistol, get a headshot at range. That's kind of hard to do. Absolutely incredible. Just a true testament to his skill.
While under fire, you know, it wasn't just like he had his, you know, time to aim it. Like he was under fire while firing back with that M9. So
yeah, like everything in that situation, I think, was pretty much at his disadvantage. He already fired before. He was in a corner. He rotated. He got to a place where he felt a lot more confident, and it just worked out for him.
Yeah, that was quite an end to the first round. But now we're going to be getting ourselves into map 2, and we'll see what that map is. Ooh, I think you can already see it there in my little preview, but Snow Peak Day is going to be the map we're going to for round 2. What are your guys' thoughts on this map? Wookie, what are your feelings on this guy?
I'm excited that they chose this map. I love this map. I'm so glad it's back in rotation. Or I don't know if it had ever left, but I'm glad to see it being played.
Todd, do you concur?
Oh yeah, and it's always really interesting to see Ember play on this map because they really practice this map. They're probably one of the masters at this map. They can take on any big league team on this map and just be super competitive on it.
Yeah, it makes sense. They've definitely put in the time. They've definitely won quite a few matches on it, so making it their map choice here as they are the away team, it tracks. It's exactly what I would have expected them to do. I wonder, so Todd, what did you think Ember did well in Bazaar, and what is it that you think gave Lords of War that advantage in the end?
Well, it might be kind of advantage and disadvantage, but their rotations definitely helped them at times, but also their rotations did not help them at times. They've been caught out at really awkward times in really awkward places, most notably by flankers or Lumpy. But they also play really slow, and I feel like they should be playing it quicker, if you know what I mean.
I do indeed, yeah. The play style, it's been a little bit of a mix. I've seen a little bit of slow, I've seen a little bit of fast, but they are a little bit slower here today than I've seen them in the past, and Lords of War definitely capitalizing on some choice rotations. A lot of people crossing out in the open that we saw go down there, trying to cross streets and stuff, especially on defense. The defensive rotations had me scratching my head. What are your thoughts, Wookie?
Well, I mean, I was scratching my head, but they paid off very well against the Marsoc team. It was no one was expecting it. It's one of those situations where you assume that your battle buddy has your back, but both your battle buddies don't have each other's backs, and those flankers from Volk just coming in like a wrecking ball and just taking people out left and right was just like pretty. I mean, you can't argue with the results, right?
You absolutely cannot. The results are definitely there. That pickup at the end by Lumpy to seal that first map. Definitely my play of the week, that's for sure. But we've got...
I'm already going to call it play of the season. I'll put my money on that.
I think that's the first time I've seen a pistol headshot for the win. Like that combo, I don't think I've ever seen.
But how many seconds were left? 2?
I think 3 or 4. Yeah, somewhere in that range.
The last time I was fortunate enough to catch that all in first-person view. By the way, I don't know how you.
No, I did have the bird's eye. I was following his approach through Kayat, as he just kind of tore through.
I'm gonna upload that to you.
Yeah. All right. Well,
first person was amazing to watch.
Yeah, and that takes quite a bit of skill across the board. He basically ran himself out of ammo. That's why he took that pistol out in the first place, and did it quite effectively. Well, I think we are. Yeah, we've got all 10 in the lobby, and we should be seeing a round start here pretty soon. So what are your? we already know Todd's feelings on Ember's chances here for Snow Peak. Wookie, what are you thinking here? You think Ember's gonna take this one back? We're gonna go to a 3 series?
Man, it's so tough because it's, this map is in some ways similar to Bazaar, just a little bit different color scheme. You have a lot of like closed in areas with the tunnels, and then you have wide open areas on the frozen lake. So based on the performance in Bazaar, I'm hoping that Ember can get it together and make a comeback, but I have a feeling it's gonna go to Lords of War.
You got a door over here, you got a door over here.
Interesting call. All right, Lords of War are setting up on their defensive round here in round 1 of map 2. Bazaar going the way of Lords of War.
So if I sit, I can't sit anywhere here because I'm gonna
I think Lords of War are just going to be in this building. I don't think they're leaving this room.
I do admit I love defending this objective. It feels like something from Payday or something. I can't quite describe it, but it's my all-time favorite OBJ to defend.
What's really interesting about this objective, if I may butt in, is that not many of these crates are bulletproof, so there's actually very little like physical cover. There's a lot of visual, but if you get shot through a crate, expect it.
Yeah, so we'll see how Ember decides to make this approach. We've got 2 coming in through the tunnels and 3 on the outside. If we take a look at the overhead map, you can see their approach there. They've got 3 in the west, 2 in the east. I like Ryan's little angle here at this side door. It's gonna be a tough one for any offensive member to make. I have a feeling, I'm just gonna call it right now, he's gonna find at least one early on, because I think as an offensive player, you don't expect somebody just sitting staring at it.
Yeah, it's... I remember defending this, and I got immediately shot through the cardboard box, so it didn't end well for me. It's a tricky location to defend. We'll see.
We've got C-Max and Milkman already on the outside door here, but they've got to deal with 2. I do expect to see some grenades in here, and as I say that, the grenades start coming out towards the door, but they are defensive.
Speak of the devil. Milkman is just trying to memorize that code, I think. He's been staring at his tablet for like the last minute. Maybe just checking to see when everyone is in position.
That would be my assumption here, is that they want to push in unison, right? There's so many doors, there's so many approaches. If you can get everybody in at the same time, you can split the defensive looks and maybe catch them unawares here, but it's a tough call. The defense has got good sight lines on all doors. They've got coverage where they need
Hellfire.
it. Yeah, I'm looking. Don't worry. The coverage is there. Hailfire's going to be maybe the first one to catch around here, as Ryan's got his laser trained on that doorway.
SliderCon right behind him, ready to revive his teammate if he can. So important. It's good to have a battle buddy with you.
You always got to travel with a buddy. The buddy system is important in swimming and in Onward. And hiking? I think they say it in hiking too.
Boy Scouts.
Boy
Scouts, yeah. That sounds right.
Should always have a hiking partner.
If Boy Scouts want to sponsor us, get at us.
Oh man,
We're not against it.
I'm a little bit worried about this hangman position, because if he accidentally shoots Lumpy, if someone comes running in that door, it's gonna be tragic.
Yeah, it absolutely will. The tension here, I don't know where to look. I don't know what's happening on any side. The action it's about to happen. I know that, but when will Ember make the move? And there it is. The shots start ringing out. Lightshaper sending a few rounds down. It's going to give Hailfire a way in, but Ryan is going to find both in that hallway, and quickly 2 are down for Ember. The grenades coming in. Smokes from C-Max and Milkman coming through. Hangman's going to have a hard time spotting anybody out here. He's pre-firing the doorway, and he does find Lumpy on accident, but he will find C-Max as he pushes through the door. Pre-fires the other side, and C-Max going down, leaving just one. Milkman pushes through, finds one, finds two. Can he find another? He's got to find Fitz. He finds him.
Goodness.
Ryan's the last one. Milkman doesn't spot him out in time, and Ryan will save that round for Lords of War on a fantastic defensive. That was great on both sides.
It really was spectacular to watch in real time just unfold. It was such a great defense, honestly.
It was a great offense. I can't, like,
It was a great offense too. Yeah.
I have no complaints on either side of that. Yes, there was a team kill on the defensive side, sure, that you definitely called Wookie.
Oh yeah.
there was a little bit of confusion on the offensive side from Hailfire, the Hailfire slider con approach, but overall, that could have worked out. Milkman went on an absolute tear, finding 3 there. But in the end, Ryan able to pick up his 3 and get that defensive win on the board. Todd, what are your thoughts on that round?
Nades. If Ember used some more utility, they probably could have had that. The most successful entrance was the one that used smoke, but if some nades went straight into the place, oh man, it'd be a very different story.
I agree completely. Instead of packing smokes for that objective, they should have probably smoked frags. Or packed frags.
Yeah, at least 1 or 2. I'm surprised.
Yeah.
I only saw defensive explosions in that game. So I'm a little surprised.
The one smoke. I only saw the one smoke. I didn't see any nades coming out of Ember. They just relied on gunshots, which tells you exactly where you are. On that entrance, it just doesn't work. You need to clear out areas before you can move in.
Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna bring smokes, that's that many smokes, you should use them too. I didn't see anyone really using their utility.
Well, we'll see if things look a little different with the defense and offense flipped as we get ourselves into round 2. Ember now on the defense. We'll see what their defense looks like, if they decide to stack the room or if they're gonna go out and venture a little bit. Looks like they are sending 2 out, Hailfire and Slider. On a bit of a recon mission, but not gonna be running into anybody as all of the Lords of War offense is pushing through this west side. See if they opt to split up as they approach the doors, but right now they are 5 strong, sweeping west. I'm gonna take a super high angle view here. I apologize for the viewers who are on cell phones. You might have a hard time spotting some of these positions. I'll show you on the overhead map where the offense is. I like this approach. I like the solid line across. Covering angles.
Seeing some very similar approaches here coming out of Lords of War. Although they're relying less on the tunnel. They just have lumpy.
Oh. Hailfire on that rotation does find one. Ryan, however, will find one inside already, and the trade comes out 1-1. It's a 4v4. Hailfire has to be ready for more. He's hearing these gunshots. C-Max will find Brad as he pushes through, but Ryan finds the head of Hailfire, and now it's a 3v3 just like that. Lumpy's already on the tunnel approach on the inside. I'm gonna have to keep my eyes on the inside of this building because I don't want to get capped on, much less Ember.
I'll follow Lumpy. So Lumpy is just making his way in. He might see C-Max at any moment now. He's radioing something.
I think he's letting them know he's getting set up. The pin is pulled.
Oh, smokes. I'm blind.
Nice little tosses. Kind of doubled up in their positions. C-Max is going to be ready for that, though. No surprise from that.
He pushed that door when he wasn't quite ready. He didn't grab his gun all the way. Unfortunate.
And now Ryan primes a nade, tosses it in, throws it right at the camera, and it's not going to find any purchase as the remaining 3 are tucked in. Fitz with the pre-fire rolling in. Slider's got to look that way. Fitz is going to find one, but Milkman will find the quick refrag, and now Ryan is the only one left. Can he pull off another? Miracle clutch here for the Lords of War. Or is Ember going to hang on for their defensive round here in Snow Peak? 3 minutes left. We'll see how this all shakes out.
It's not looking good for Ryan. I must say the odds are kind of against him here. Not only is it 2-1, but it's a very tight entrance. I mean, it's really hard to miss Ryan coming into the room.
It's a tough peak to make. Slider's got like a nice little angle there. You can sort of see it here in my cam. And they can both utilize it. It's still tough to see.
You know, Milkman and Slider, the only thing I can maybe predict is that they get a little antsy, and then Ryan capitalizes on that. Maybe catches one, but
the bounce on that smoke. The lucky bounce on that smoke to get inside the doorway. It doesn't really provide much effect, but just the fact that it was pointing inside the building, it's a miracle in and of itself. But Slider is aware, and Ryan does not have the opportunity to make it inside, and just like that, Ember picks themselves up a round win here.
Good job, Ember. Good job.
So what do you think worked well to the advantage of Ember there, Todd?
I think, A, from the first map, we see that Ember are a lot more coordinated with their approaches. B, what worked this round is that Hailfire was able to get that initial pick on whoever it was in order to kind of shake up the Lords of War. And they were able to just pick off people as they tried to make entrances in because they weren't coordinating a unison attack.
I wonder if... I mean, I can't really complain too much about it because they used the equipment that we would have expected.
Yes.
From the first round, right? We talked about no frags coming in, no smokes coming in, etc. They used the equipment properly. I think it was just a series of unfortunate, mistakes.
Yeah, I think Lords of War did a better job, like individually, on how each person approached entering this building. But Ember as a whole had the right idea of how the team should approach the building. If you combine the two, you'd have the perfect, breach and murder. But we didn't see that on either side here.
Indeed, we didn't. Now the objective has shifted. We are going to be in the eastern tunnels, the sewer. I don't actually know callouts for this map. I'm not going to lie to you. We're going to have to make them up as we go along. We're
straight tunnel.
We're pioneers.
You and me both, Noman. I need to get familiar with this map.
Yeah, he's over there
rusty
in the snow.
Yeah, behind the hill.
What they're doing? No fucking idea.
I call this
Alright.
one the straight tunnel one, just because there's two tunnels. You got the horseshoe one, and then
Yeah.
you got the straight one.
This Lords of War defense has me a little worried, as I think a question came out. Does everybody know what they're doing? And the response was, nope. So we'll see how this pans out for Lords of War. They may not have put in the requisite time on this map. Ooh, I'm on the wrong side of this series here. Let's zoom on over as the offense pushes through, and already Lightsaber will find Ryan a huge pick based on the way Ryan's been playing this series so far. Big pickup for Ember there.
I will say this is the easiest objective to cap on. I know firsthand. It's very easy to just pop out of that tunnel, and
Hangman here is in trouble.
cap.
He's got two coming through. Sorry to cut you off there, but
oh, you're fine.
he has got eyes on in the trade. The trade coming out 1-1. Lightshaper and Hangman taking each other out, making it a 4v3. But this opens up a pretty huge lane here for the offense to push in. Now Slider is going to be the closest one to this objective, as Lumpy's IK is doing some really insane things. He's doing like a backflip there for a minute. Not really sure what that position was, but he's decided to opt out of it and push a little bit closer to the objective. This, I think, is my favorite way of defending this, is just being on it, I think these are, I mean, if anybody knows, maybe chat can correct me in 6 minutes, but I don't think any of these are bulletproof. I think you can just rail ammo through these and pick up whoever's sitting behind them.
You are correct. They are not bulletproof.
That sounds like experience talking.
It is.
Well, we'll see if Milkman and C-Max here will be ready for Lumpy's position. I'm seeing a lot of cheeky little spots here. A good little defensive position. Milkman going to be pushing around the corner. Lumpy will find the shots and get the kill. C-Max should now be aware that that is not a safe corner to peek, and he'll peek at it anyway.
Luckily, Lumpy wasn't looking, but oh, now he is.
Hailfire's gonna find
Lumpy.
one on the backside though as Fitz goes down, and now Lumpy's in a huge disadvantage, and C-Max will capitalize on the confusion to find that pick, and now it's just all up to Brad. He is the last one remaining. He's gonna push out into the tunnel, I imagine. He's going to catch a bullet for his troubles as Ember is closed in on both sides, and yes indeed, Hailfire will find the pick, and just like that, Ember picks up their round win here and takes the lead for the first time since the middle of the Bazaar series, if I'm not mistaken. Todd, what are your thoughts on that round?
Lack of utility once again, but just that coordination is a spectacle to be seen. Hailfire just knows how to move his men and where to put them. That's all I really have to say.
Wookie, do you agree? I mean, they seem to be doing a pretty good job of just understanding when to make the peaks, and you know, a few of them aside, when to get into the corridors they need to get into. And do you think it's luck, or you think they're jiving together now?
Well, you know, it was very smart to take that northern cave approach with 3 guys, because it's always going to be a bloodbath. Entering in that cave is a bit of a meat grinder, so you want to pack it in with people. Yeah, I mean, it just wasn't enough in the end, you know, and a superior defensive position is always king in that situation.
Yeah, it was unfortunate for Lumpy to get that War of Two Fronts situation going there. Fitz going down opened up pretty much the entire objective for Ember. Once you've got both sides of the tunnel, I mean, there's just no way to defend from inside of those hallways.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and good job on Ember for closing in like that from all directions. You could tell Brad was just, you know, holy crap, I'm the last guy alive, you know, I gotta go in there and make sure they don't cap, even if he needs to die, you know.
Oh yeah.
It's better to die than to get capped on.
That's, yeah, we're gonna repeat it 1,000 times. If you're new to Onward, you're thinking about joining a team, just always remember that it's better to die than to get capped on. Oh, we're seeing a shield coming out from Lords of War here. Round 4 is now underway, and Lumpy is going to be bringing the Riot Shield for this approach, and I like this plan. I mean, this is the objective to do it on, right?
I would imagine.
I think it's been long overdue. We needed a shield, and so I'm finally glad to see one.
We're going to follow the Lords of War offense here as they scoot on through inside the, we're going to call this the parking garage.
I mean, this is really the only objective where you can utilize a shield on this map, so I'm glad it isn't going to waste. Oh, but he's going to immediately find some action against Hailfire. Whew. Lumpy ducked down just in the nick of time.
Hailfire repositioning's the right call to make. Try not to challenge a shield with his buddies, but Slider's going to be pushing on the other side. Ryan looks like he's going to be ready for him, and the shots ring out. Not before Slider takes care of that shield problem that they were going to have.
Yeah, I mean, that ended the best way it possibly could have. They took out the shield player, and that was really the most ideal situation to come of that. Hailfire will be totally ready for Ryan, who just picked up the shield, though.
Yeah, we'll see how this pans out. So they don't have the accurate kill count.
He's got a one-handed drum mag M4, so I don't think it's...
Oh, and it's not going to work out. It's Hailfire on a nice little rush. Now that is how you don't panic when a shield comes around the corner. I find a lot of teams have a hard time when shields come facing them, you know?
I wanna say Hailfire, good job. That was very brave of you, but it was also very dumb. He's lucky that it wasn't the main shield player, because if it was Lumpy, he would have. I don't think Hailfire would have survived that if it was Lumpy.
Yeah, it's so hard to use a. Sorry about that, Todd, but I think it's so hard to use a rifle with it. You know what I mean? The pistol is such a small object. It's so easy to maneuver it around the shield. I think he may have just not been able to fire because his gun was clipping into the shield.
Exactly.
I think what he anticipated doing was to peek the corner safely and then drop the shield maybe and just use his rifle. I don't know. But either way, Hailfire just, you know, that BDE just kind of walked around the corner and took out the shield.
That was a great play by Hailfire, and now he's got the shield to his advantage. C-Mac should be hearing these footsteps in a big way. He's going to find Hangman as he pops the corner. Is Brad going to be ready? The trade comes out. They're both ready for each other. And Hangman still alive.
Is Milkman going to confirm the kill? Oh, he's not. So Hangman's going to be doing, I mean, a lot of call-outs here against OBJ.
Wonder if he's spotted Milkman out just yet, and Fitz is gonna find Hailfire on that rotation. Now it's a 2v1. I like Lightshaper. He's got the shield. So Hailfire brought the shield to Lightshaper.
Yes.
Gave it to him to sit up in the tunnel, and then ran into a different spot. I love that. I love the on-the-fly playmaking like that, you know?
He's like the cat that brings great presents.
Well, this
Like,
is
hey,
interesting.
I found this for you.
Milkman is staring at the door. I mean, this is the right play, right? Because I don't think he knows he's alive, but Fitz is gonna try to come for the res most likely, unless Hangman tells him not to. But if he does, he'll get confirmed. So who knows what this play is looking like? Let's see. I'm gonna try to listen to.
You know, I'm kind of surprised that Milkman doesn't hear him talking.
I mean, Hangman, I could barely hear him, and I'm like on top of his body. I think he's just feeding intel still. And it's dangerous because Milkman is in full view. Lightshaper's dropped the shield now. He's on a defensive peak.
I mean, Fitz still has 2 minutes. He's got so much time. All he has to do is wait for the defense to get antsy and make a mistake. Although Lightshaper does have great coverage of the OBJ. I think that's going to be a very looked at position after week 2. I think week 3 and week 4, people will be more aware of Lightshaper's current position, just in general.
I think Lightshaper should be seeing the head peek out here, and there it is. The shots ring out. And Ember will go up 3-1 here in map 2. Milkman giving the thumbs up to Lightshaper at long range. That is well deserved, as Lightshaper finding that pick gets Ember their third point.
This is the Ember I wanted to see. You asked me earlier what I thought. Well, this is what I was hoping to see, but you know, I wasn't gonna predict anything.
That's right. Todd, what are your thoughts on that round?
Man, the shield play was so short, but from what I could see, it looked like Lumpy really didn't do his research on this map before of what loadout he should bring. He brought a night vision / laser combo, expecting to use that at night, but where he got intercepted, it was still way too bright to be able to use the night vision, which is why he flicked it up, but he was basically useless from there on. The rest is history.
Indeed it is. I mean, I don't know. I think that night vision has some uses in those corridors because it can be really hard to see in that tunnel specifically, but like to use a point just for that one little piece of tunnel, I don't know. Maybe it's the thrifty, you know, real life person in me where I'm like, I don't know if I want to spend potential smoke or a frag point. Am I the only one?
My loadouts. No, you're not gonna like my loadouts, Snowman. All of them have night vision.
That's too much. That's too much night vision. You can't.
I can't handle it. Yeah, I don't.
Everything looks green.
I can understand it on tanker. I can understand it on subway in most cases, but yeah, I have a hard time justifying it in maps like this where it's like for 3 seconds I'm gonna need it, and then I won't need it for the rest of the game.
Honestly, I do it just because I forget.
Yeah, that is a common factor. All right, we have got round 5 coming to you now. Let's find our offense here. Where did they spawn? Here they are. The offense splitting up to 3. Hailfire and Milkman heading around to the south, and the rest heading to the north. The objective is in the hangar bay. And we're going to take a look here at a very high level. You won't be able to see anything, so I'm going to pop up the overhead map so you can see the defensive positions here. They've got 3 on the back. I like that setup. 3 in the back, 2 in the front. I feel like I'm watching a red zone play football. Like, we got a little zone defense going on.
No, it's good to see those 2 guys going in the south, getting their hands dirty. That's definitely the more closer combat of this map. You know, it's very kind of close quarter situation.
I wonder if Ryan's going to be able to spot. Oh, no, he's tucked into this corner here. A fun note here is these buildings are also not bulletproof, so you can be shot through any of those tin walls. Check in with the captain of Ember here as they make their approach.
Yeah. It's a bit zoomed out, but if you look at Lumpy's position relative to these other guys, I mean, they're watching the same part of the map, but they're not really gonna, I don't know, walk in front of each other.
It's interesting. Slider sending a few rounds down range. He's got that, what, the 12x or the ACOG? That's the 12x. Oh, he takes a shot there.
That's
gonna tuck him in a little bit.
Ryan's kind of capitalizing on this. He's moving around. He's checking out the lake. I wonder if he's going to spot C-Max. Or maybe Lightshaper even.
I mean, he's
really bad. Oh, no.
Oh, those shots from Lightshaper just doomed the 2 on the lake. Lightshaper and C-Max caught out in the open. Ryan does manage to finally land the shots.
How does C-Max
Lightshaper
not
there.
react to that? C-Max, turn around.
Oh, no. Oh, no. But Ryan gives up on the angle. Does he not see him? He does. He doubles back, finds the peak, and C-Max will go down as well. Now, there is only 3 of the Embers left. The Embers are dying out, I think is
I'm worried Lumpy is going to find both of these guys right now.
Yep, Hailfire definitely is going to go down. Milkman hearing the shots. The reload comes in. Is Lumpy going to be ready? No, Milkman on the quick refrag. And now it's a 2v4. That's the first pick for Ember on this round.
Milkman caught him while he was reloading, so it just goes to show that you should refrag as quickly as possible with your battle buddy, because they are either calling it out on the radio or they are reloading, most likely.
Yeah, or just never reload. That's the...
Yeah, that too, that works. Pack a drum mag and never worry about ammo ever again.
Oh, and Ryan on the... Why did I not pay attention to Ryan as he runs the flank? Finds the pick onto Milkman while he waited
I think that's 3 down.
for the final member, SliderCon, to make his rotations back towards the north. And now we're going to tag along with Slider in first person and see how he decides to attack this. I'm going to say all but lost objective here. It's very tough, even with a full team.
Yeah, and to be the last guy with 2 minutes left and you're way extended like Slider, I'm not quite sure where.
Oh, the laser's on him. Oh, the laser's on him. He's sending rounds down.
What are you doing, Slider? He has no idea where he's getting shot from. Oh, there he goes. He figured it out.
Oh, he's taking rounds. He's sending rounds down. He sees Fitz. He's not able to land the shots. Fitz tightens his angle up a little bit, and Slider. Did he catch around there? It looked like
Ryan is looking for him though, and I'm pretty sure he's gonna walk right into Ryan. Poor SliderCon is just gonna walk straight into Ryan's view. Oh, but he crouched at just the right moment.
He could still catch him off guard, but he's got 1 minute and 30. Slider gonna catch him on this peak. Oh, he's gonna blind himself by coming around this way, but Ryan stands up.
Slider, how did you not? Oh, you didn't see him stand up.
He had the scope vision. That's what it was. Oh, but he does find the pick there.
You're absolutely right. It was that scope vision. Talk about tunnel vision.
Yeah, that's the Onward version of tunnel vision, scope vision. Slider, he's committed to this M16 with the ACOG. I would have, if I was him and I was getting into these quarters, I would have snagged a defender's gun, something close range.
Yeah, I mean, he just walked by a teammate's body, but I think he just feels pressured for time. He's about to find Walker, sorry.
He does indeed. Brad finds him. And Lords of War will be the ones picking up a defensive round there, starting to even the score out a little bit. Is Ember in trouble here, Todd?
No, I think they still got this. They've been showing really dominant Marsoc rounds. They slipped up on this. I'm sorry. They've been showing really dominant defense rounds. They slipped up on this Marsoc round. But I think they'll really pull it back in their defense here.
Interesting. Wookie, what do you think? You think this is indicative of a comeback here? We saw Lords of War do it already once in Bazaar. Do you think they can do it again here?
You know, I would love to see a comeback from Marsoc just to make it 3-3. However, I do think Ember has the advantage here, their defense. And assuming they don't get too rowdy with it, they could totally take this home.
Yeah, they've got the defensive advantage here. This objective is a tough one to defend, for sure. I think they got a little unlucky there, as you said. But we'll see. Maybe Lords of War has something up their sleeve here that Ember may not be ready for. I'm interested to see if it's going to be like a tucked-in defense or if they're going to try to roam a little bit. They've had success roaming so far, so I would expect to see it again.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine Ryan is telling all of his buddies to stay near the objective, just let me roam. Because lately, that's all that's needed to happen. Ryan just needs to roam, and he's been doing...
You can't cage that guy, you know?
You can't. No.
Can't put baby in a corner, I think, you can't put Ryan in a corner, because he doesn't like corners. He likes to be out in the open, just getting crazy shots all across the board. I mean, it's been a great series. On both sides, they've had strong plays. They've had great players make great plays. But I think the two that have shined for me so far is obviously Ryan on Lords of War side and Slider Khan on the Ember side. He's only got three kills on this round. Milkman and C-Max both carrying 5. But overall, the awareness and the plays that they've made has been pretty stellar. Does anybody else jump out at you guys? Wookie, maybe?
I mean, if I had to throw an MVP around, it would be Ryan. I mean, he had an unfortunate problem where he had to leave the lobby and come back in, so I don't know what his actual score is right now, but I know it was like 9 or something insane. Like he had 9 kills before he backed out. So,
yeah,
Ember's playing pretty solid, but I would have to give the MVP for this match so far to Ryan.
Todd, do you agree on that statement? Anybody else shining through for you in the den here?
Are we going map or current game?
Well, I mean, you could do either or both. I'll let you decide.
I think Ryan definitely deserves the map MVP, but just that one round, being able to control all your senses at the very last minute of the match, Lumpy definitely still has the MVP in my heart.
Yeah, that was a great play in Bazaar. I mean, I can't discount that, but he has really carried the team on Snow Peak for sure, and I can't ignore that.
Well, we're going to be looking at round 6 as Ember's defense gets set up here, looking to try to take this map here and get us into a series decider map 3. And Lords of War fighting back from a 3-1. Trying to maybe seal the deal here, and we'll check in with their offense. This actually might be a round reset.
Yeah, I'm seeing some X's. Uh-oh, did somebody... Oh, no. They didn't reset in time.
Oh, no. That is devastating. That is so unfortunate. I wonder why he wasn't able to get that reset. Oh, boy. Well, you hate to see it. Yeah, I personally hate to see that.
Sad to see that. But hey, we're going to a third map decider, guys.
Third map decider. Hooray. Ember getting that win on a technicality. I mean, to be fair, they did more or less earn the rest of the wins. I feel like that defensive round probably would have gone their way regardless. But we'll never know. We will never know. The score is finalized there, sadly. They are going to a 4-2. I might... you know what? I will. I'm going to throw it to a quick intermission. I'm going to check in with the teams. Sometimes they'll gentlemen's agree to replay around. So I'm going to throw the folks at home to a quick intermission while we decide if this is indeed the way that map 2 will go and we're going to a third map decider, or if we're going to replay the objective maybe with a rehost. So don't go anywhere. Stick around. We're going to try to be back in less than just a couple of minutes. Grab a drink of water, check in on the Super Bowl, and we'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back. And as you may see here by the updated scoreboard, the teams have decided to move on to the third map. Lords of War graciously allowing Ember to keep that round win. Technically, by rules, the round win does go to Ember if you're not able to reset within the appropriate round reset timer. That round is effectively given away. So Lords of War will abide by the rules here, and Ember does take map 2, Snow Peak. So now we are in the series decider, and as you can see, the map as the final choice here is going to be Suburbia Day. Wookie, what are your thoughts on this map for this matchup?
It couldn't have ended on a better map. Suburbia is, you know, a pretty action-packed, close quarters map. It's, you know, one of my... I don't want to say it's my favorite at all, because I don't enjoy the back and forth of people shooting between the hedges, but all in all, I love the fact that it's, you know, in a suburban location and you're shooting from houses. It's just a lot of fun, but the map has good close quarters combat. It's got great mid-range combat, so it can really go either way, honestly. This is nothing... Suburbia is unlike anything we've seen tonight between Bazaar and Snow Peak.
Yeah, Todd, what are your thoughts on this as final map as well?
Obviously, I think it's a great way to end a map, just to be able to have something that is just so fast-paced. That basically the tide of war can just change here on a dime. and to have that as the deciding map, the stakes aren't higher. They really can't get any higher unless you do cargo.
Yeah, cargo would have been an interesting one to see. I do agree. This is definitely a good. I feel like this map, along with cargo, is one of those like 50-50. Make the right peaks at the right time and have the right play. You'll come out ahead. But I don't know. I think some days Suburbia, you're feeling it, and other days you're not quite feeling it. And I'm curious to see which team. I mean, after a map 2 end like that one, who is, you know, who's feeling it at this point? Like, Ember gets a win on a rule, basically on a ruling, and Lords of War are a little bit demoralized at the loss and had some performance issues. So I'm wondering if either team is coming into this like super hot, you know.
I'm hoping Lords of War just muscle through that unfortunate event from the last map, and I hope that they just focus on what's forward in front of them. Suburbia, you know, due to the way the map is built, it can kind of be a coin toss either way. I mean, it's really difficult to predict based on what we've seen so far, like who will win. It's such a vastly different map from anything they've played tonight. So, yeah, I mean, it could go either way. This is a great equalizer from what we've seen tonight.
I do think Lords of War do stand a better chance in this map because they do typically play quicker than Ember does, but Ember have been known to speed it up at times, so I think Ember can speed it up here and be competitive with Lords of War on this map, and it's going to be one heck of a round ender. We'll have to see soon here.
Yeah, we will indeed. All of the players are in. We will give them the go-ahead. And there it is. We've given them the start signal, so we are going to be getting underway here in just a few moments, and we'll see how this map shakes out. If you're just joining us here, you've missed most of the action, pretty much all of it. But there is one more map to go, and it is the series decider, so no lack of intense play ahead here. Glad you've chosen to tune in when you did, and if you've been here the whole time, well, gold star for you.
I'm at this fence.
Many gold stars, multiples.
Yes, one for each.
All the gold stars.
One for each round.
Round 1 is underway. The defense going to be spreading out a little bit here. We'll see what the approach from the offense is going to look like. Well, we got a couple of members of Lords of War up in the spawn house. We're going to be looking at that long third lane cross. And this looks like an offense that's setting up for defense. Is anybody else getting that feel? They got 2 upstairs, 1 in the Porch of the Burning, 2 in the spawn. Like, are they expecting?
It certainly looks like they're expecting a strong push by Ember because, to be frank, I mean, if I'm wrong, they've been flanking around all night with their defensive roamers. So I think because Suburbia is a smaller map, it's more tight, I think they're just going to give it a minute and just see what happens. SliderCon is also over there, you know, kind of like looking through the bushes, making sure no one comes around burning building right now.
I mean, I've seen this exact setup by a defensive team for like the tank objective, you know?
Yeah, this does feel weird. I'm not going to lie. It's almost like they misread the board.
Yeah, I hope they know they're on offense.
Right? You'd hope so.
So they haven't even hit the middle of the map yet. Okay, interesting choice. Well, the defense is all set up. They're not moving anymore. We'll take a look at the overhead map here, and you can see I like this defense. They got a little triangle set up around the objective. They've got the coverage in all the right places.
It's like that scene in the movie where they're like, it's quiet, too quiet. I hope something happens.
Yeah, I hope Lords of War starts moving towards the objective. That'd be a good first step to this first round.
Well, you know, if who is it? Viper, he wants shorter round times for the smaller maps.
Yeah, the argument can definitely be made. I just don't. I mean, I can kind of get it. You're covering 2 or 3 different lanes, just looking for anybody to push through, but...
They are moving now. They're finally rotating over to the burning building. It's almost like they were like not ready to start just yet. Like they were still drawing up battle plans and they were just in the spawn house.
Slider's gonna be hearing and seeing this. The shots come out. He doesn't quite land him. Lumpy's looking for him through the wood. He does find him. How did Slider lose that engagement? He had 2 rushing up. Flash
he
coming
had a
out.
complete advantage. I don't know.
Well, it's working out for them now, but Lightshaper is going to find the equalizing pick there.
That is such a strong defensive position by Lightshaper. It's very hard to look through that little part of the fence. The non-solid part of the fence is very hard to see through. So
Ryan is going to find Hailfire there on a nice little peek. Lumpy's threw away his gun while he was looting this body. He's got me all. I'm just watching him. And just like that, Lightshaper shuts down his dreams of pushing up lane 1. Brad
newest
Walker.
member of Lords, though, finding that kill. He's the closest to the objective, so I'm kind of wondering if he's going to pull it off. I don't think so. Lightshaper is looking right at him.
Well, yeah, there it is. Lightshaper does find the pick. He's going to need to confirm. And now it's a 1v2 with a res available if Lightshaper doesn't confirm. Ryan, the last one alive here, he's going to be doing the slow cross in lane 1. I apologize. I called that bus lane 1. That's actually lane 4.
How dare you?
I know. I'm not fit
Shame.
for the desk.
Shame.
No, of course you are. Don't say that. You want me to run the desk? It'll be a total disaster. I guarantee you.
Your time will come, Wookie. Your time will come. The reckoning is nigh. Abandon hope, all ye who cast here.
No, it'll be great, guys. It'll be great. When the time comes.
It's gonna be great. You'll be fine.
Yar, there's a party coming.
Bring your grog, mateys.
Ryan is making his way. He's gonna get across. I mean, there's no question about it now. There's no angle here at which the 2 defenders remaining will be able to spot him. The callouts from that offensive player, Brad, down in lane 3 could be very key here for Ryan's approach.
I've been focusing on Ryan, but I don't think Brad's been talking much. I might be wrong. I just zoomed over to Brad, but I don't know what information he could really give them. Unfortunately, I don't even think he knows how he went down.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he was entirely aware of Lightshaper's position, as the other 2 were not. And Lightshaper managed to get that pick.
Brad just called out Lightshaper by the red car, so yeah, I wonder. He's not really by the red car though, so it's kind of a big description of what Lightshaper's.
He's actually between 2 red cars at the black car.
True. So if you're Ryan, you're like, great, this is not helpful.
Yeah, he was taking a look at the objective position there and didn't quite spot him out. Ooh, but this sprinting, is C-Max going to be aware? He is looking, and he does find the pick, and Ember will go up 1-0 here on their defensive outing here in map 3. Todd, I don't even know what question to ask you. I mean, honestly, what were your thoughts overall in that round? That whole first 2 minutes is just like a walking nightmare.
Yeah, that was kind of a joker card for me, seeing Lords of War play very passively. And for the first 3 minutes, just holding a defense on offense, even though both them and I know that Ember don't really push out. They don't get aggressive. They don't play like, I'm just going to throw it out there. Fury does, because they like to hold certain positions, and Hailfire likes to get a little micromanaging with the team, which is fine. It works for them, but holding a position where nothing is going to happen, not going to be able to find picks, is just not going to work for them, and that is very clearly shown here.
Yeah, Wookie, are you, like, I mean, I know we talked about this before the game started. You're a proponent of the sort of slower play. Is that the kind of slower play that you had in mind when you were talking about that?
Not at all. I mean, it was slow play until it wasn't, right? He just went full sprint, encountered C-Max, who heard him coming around the backyard there. And if you're gonna be slow, you gotta stick to it. I did want to comment. I think that the red car call out threw off Ryan because he was totally looking at the red car when he went down to C-Max, at least from my point of view.
Yeah, I do think he was trying to get a different angle on the other side of that red car, and
so unfortunately, you know, it's one of those situations where communication is good, but you know, bad communication is the worst that could happen. You know,
it is by definition bad.
Yeah, and he is one of, actually both of them just came out of the rookie team. Lumpy's rookie team specifically, they kind of just got absorbed into the Lords of War, so they're probably still learning it as they go, or you know, on the job training.
Yeah, and they're doing a great job of it. I mean, the series overall has been really tight, great plays by a lot of those new players. I mean, we saw that Bizarre play the first couple rounds of Snow Peak were really fantastic. I wouldn't know they were rookies unless, you know, unless I was new to the league or somebody told me that they were.
Yeah, I had no idea they were rookies. So, I mean, thank you for pointing that out, Todd. Well, they're doing extremely well.
Yeah, this is some high-level play. We'll see what Ember's got in store here for their offense. We see some defensive frags coming out to check the lane. C-Max can be the first one to send rounds down as Lumpy is tucked in on the inside of this barrier.
Milkman almost picked up Fitz there for a second. He got real close. Now Fitz is just trying to draw attention to himself, bait out some shots. He's trying to get a number on these Marsoc guys that are coming at him. Trying to figure out how many there are.
Yeah, he wants that accurate read if possible. Ember is doing a good job here pushing up into different sections of the map. A lot of pre-fire coming in, but Lumpy's going to capitalize on a lot of those gunshots and find C-Max on his outing there, and that's going to put Ember down a man early in the round. Minute and a half gone already.
Slider's doing a lot of back and forth pre-firing against Hangman. Hangman just seems to be shooting the red car, though. I don't know if he realizes.
Keep getting stuck inside this building. This is an interesting camera angle. Nope, let's get out of that. There we go.
Slider, Con, and Lightshaper, though, grouping up nice and tight, throwing some smokes, making the Volk team sweat a little bit, and he's getting some pre-fire out. Hailfire got Fitz with that grenade.
Fantastic throw there. Just caught the tail end of it. Fitz is still available for information. Only 3 members of Ember are alive. Slider and Lightshaper here on the eastern side, more towards the center of the map. Hailfire making that push on the west, and Hangman is giving Hailfire a run for his money. He's going to opt to back out of that position, Ryan's
in a pretty good position here. He's not too worried about lane 1. He's more focused on OBJ. Those call-outs from Fitz clearly helping out with their confidence.
Yeah, the smokes have now dissipated. Ember doesn't have much coverage here. Slider on that very tight peak is going to find Lumpy. A very little tight angle there as he finds one. Hangman does rotate around and get that revive onto Fitz, and now 4 are back up again.
You know, I wonder how Brad is going to watch this position, because he's newer to the league, right? So
it's a tough pick to make. Hailfire finalizing that kill onto Fitz now.
I wonder if he knows Lightshaper is coming around.
Oh, Hailfire's in trouble here. Brad's got his eyes on this bush. If he decides to peek out, he is absolute toast. He's just lucky Brad can't see him, but Lightshaper's on the other side. Is he going to be able to get Brad and save Hailfire potentially on a push? Brad is going to find Slider, though, on that long rotation through lane 1.
It was such a nice shot, but Lightshaper was right there and ready for it, you know? What can you do?
Now Hangman is aware. Excuse me. Hangman is
Well-
aware of this position. Light Shaper tucked in, does find him on the cross, and now just one left. Ryan, the last to defend. He's in the right position. I don't think he's made much noise.
Ryan is definitely in the best position, but I think Hailfire might be able to see him if he isn't careful right through those bushes. Ryan's definitely aware of Hailfire's position after that communication, so he's gonna try and get Hailfire, and then he's gonna hopefully get Light Shaper, but I don't know what's gonna happen here.
This is such a tough play to make when you're the last defender. As soon as you shoot, you're giving away to anybody else left on the map.
Yeah, I think he's gonna end up seeing Light Shaper first, and then maybe Hailfire will get a refrag, but
Yeah, I'm
Ryan should be-
expecting... Oh, Light Shaper's creeping up for the cap. Is Ryan going to spot him out here? I don't think he sees him. If he gets...
he sees Hailfire. I wonder if he's gonna check OBJ and see Light Shaper. He's looking right at him with the lasers.
He's got the confirmation. Light Shaper's got gun up. Ryan is tucked in on the inside. Oh my goodness, this was almost a cap for Ember. Ryan now checking every corner. He's going back up into the spot. Light Shaper doesn't quite have the angle just yet. I think Light Shaper has given up on the cap. He knows he probably can't make it from where he is. He stays absolutely silent. Ryan is panicking here on the inside.
Light Shaper has every advantage here. It's like you were saying.
Oh, the trade!
Oh, wow.
The trade is gonna come out and it will go the way of Ember. Both spot each other, both start firing, and the bullets do register on both sides, but Ember is gonna be the one to take that away from Lords of War and go up in the series 2-0. Todd, what are your thoughts on that round there?
Honestly, if Hailfire just stayed behind the bush and was kind of like a shadow threat, he could have allowed for Light Shaper to possibly go for the cap there by sneaking up. But instead, Hailfire obviously chose to go around the bush, and he died, thus clearing up that threat and allowed Ryan to focus more on objective and almost gave Lords of War a point there, but luckily he just went on the way of Ember.
Yeah, it was a pretty tight series. They had Ryan in a very unfortunate spot. Honestly, I think if Light Shaper just kept crawling, he might have been able to get that cap. That is, it's so hard to see through that picket fence from that angle, just because of the angle on the slats. I think if he'd have just committed to it, he might have been able to pull that off. But we will never know, as Ember takes it on kills and a trade at that. And now Lords of War very much on the back foot. Ember going into a defensive round here. Could bring it up to a 3-0.
I have faith.
Oh, you've
I
got...
always like a good 3-0, you know?
It makes the comeback all the sweeter, am I right?
It sure does, and it's especially great as a viewer to just
very-
watch it unfold.
It's a very hard objective, though. It is the back garage, which means you have a lot more distance to cover on Marsoc. Lords of War got the challenge coming to them right now.
Oh, they do indeed. But there is going to be a quick round reset, as there was a technical issue, so we will take you back to the scoreboard temporarily as we wait for the teams to figure out their technical problems. We've seen quite a few of them this round, so we appreciate everybody being patient with us as we resolve those. Yeah, this objective can be quite tricky while we're in this screen here. I will show the viewers. Yeah, so we're in this garage objective, a very tough defense to make. But honestly, I think I see a lot more Marsoc prevail here just because the defense gets overconfident on the positioning of the objective, and they can get sort of snuck up on from lanes 1 or 4.
I think this is ironically one of the most difficult objectives to actually defend, because you kind of assume at all times that if you see members on your tablet that you're good to go, but like it's really easy to sneak around, you know, the east side of the house and just get a cap from the backyard.
Lumpy and Slider will trade out quickly in the middle house, and Lumpy will be good for a revive. So Ember potentially in a 4v5 here, currently a 4v4. A very nice little rush by Lumpy there. To be able to win that trade is pretty huge for them, as that res should be pretty easy to get.
I give credit to Lords of War for doing that early drone and trying to get a position on them, but you know, whoever the drone pilot was, you know, they took a poor flight path and it was quickly shot down without gaining much information, I want to say.
They probably didn't get clearance from the FAA is what it was.
Yeah. They didn't chip their drone that weighs 1 pound.
You gotta chip your drones, guys. Jeez.
Damn you, FAA. No, but seriously though, the drone needs to fly a little bit lower so it doesn't get shot out of the air so rapidly. Oh, Hailfire and Call Me Fitz are like right next to each other.
Yeah, this is such a tight angle. I know this spot has been sort of like hotly contested about whether or not it should be here. The shot's coming out. Fitz not gonna work out, and he's gonna find one, but the revive comes out, so they are net even on that play. A little frag coming out there. Oof, close to Hailfire, but a little too far. Not gonna find its target.
I think it did scare him though.
I mean, once you lose this middle house, it's so difficult to defend this. Lightshaper gonna prove me wrong, as he does find one in the upstairs of the house. Lumpy now aware of that position. A nice little angle there.
I want to say Lumpy is going to take him out, but maybe not.
Lane 1 down.
Milkman is doing a good job of staying low, working that one line.
Hailfire, sorry to cut you off there. Hailfire getting out of that position. I mean, it's one of those rotations that I just didn't seem necessary, and just like that, Lightshaper finds one. Brad evens things out a little bit as he finds C-Max, but Milkman is ready, and I'm surprised no one is checking this position. It's a very common defensive spot. Ryan, the last one left, too, on the Ember defense.
I have to imagine that Ryan knows exactly where Milkman is, but I don't think he's got any utility to take care of it, so he's going to have to take care of it the old-fashioned way with bullets.
The old bullet way. You just pre-fire. I mean, at this point, you got to just start pre-firing through that little fence there and hope for the best.
Once you're above that Jersey barrier or whatever they're called, the K-rails or whatever, I mean, he could literally blind fire into the bush right now, but he chooses not to sacrifice his positioning quite yet, and I have to agree with that move.
I think Ryan spotted him through this bush, maybe? He's looking in this little crack.
He's certainly, yeah, he's trying to find him.
He definitely would have been able to kill him. I don't know if he could shoot through that crack. I imagine you can. And if he did,
pre-fire it out of...
What a fantastic headshot! And there it is. He did see Milkman, and the gentle play by Ryan is going to give Lords of War their first round here in Suburbia.
That was marvelously cleaned up by Ryan. I just want to say
that wasn't.
He knew exactly where he was. He's like, all right, I'm going to take care of you in a minute. He was looking for Lightshaper.
Todd, use words, because I cannot.
Don't worry, I got you covered. Emperor, I think their biggest mistake here is that they're not rotating after killing. They're kind of holding these great angles, but after they shoot someone, the value of that angle you hold deprecates like a car on Kelly's Blue Book. And it is just not working for them. The only one who rotated was Hailfire, but he rotated so slow he got caught out at an angle by lane 1. And it just did not work out for them. And obviously we can't go without saying how amazing that end game was from Ryan with the headshot to being able to shoot through the crack and find that last Ember member and get Lords of War on the board here.
Yeah, it was a huge pickup for Ryan there. A fantastic play, great trigger discipline, great shooting in general. He has really just been on top of it. He's got 6 kills on the round so far, only eclipsed by Lightshaper with 8 on the Ember side. But that is the first time Lords of War gets on the map here in map 3. And now they're going to a defensive round, and I hate to say it, I think Lords of War is going to even things out here, and we're going to get back into a pretty tight series.
I don't think I can go either side here. Last time we were on a defensive round for Lords of War, it went down to mono a mono, and it basically won in a Vegas lottery shootout.
Yeah, you're right, Todd. All right, we'll see what happens here as we are getting ourselves into round 4. Defense pushing out.
I'm not putting anything anywhere yet.
Yeah, you're not gonna commit to any baskets of any kind. You're gonna keep your eggs in their store carton, and not all in one basket, as they might say. Ryan here he's looking to maybe clean up. Hailfire rushes the corner, no gun up, an easy kill for Ryan there. Milkman now aware. Is he gonna spot him out? No, Ryan finds 2. And now Slider just sending rounds down. 2 members of Ember, that doesn't stop being fun to say, are down here.
You know, that's a devastating first start. Right off the bat, they've already lost 2 members, so it's 3v5.
And the grenade comes out a little too long there, but let Slider know there is still someone to deal with.
Who will see the other first through the hedge?
Yeah. I mean,
that's what suburbia boils down to sometimes, unfortunately.
Well, we've seen Ryan be a master of the hedge in the last round, and we'll see if he can carry that over here. A little bit longer distance, but just 3 Ember players remaining, and Slider does get the better of that exchange. Ryan going down, and now it's a 3v4, a little bit looser here, but Lords of War still commanding this defense quite a bit to have to get through before they get anywhere near that objective.
I think Lightshaper is hell-bent on claiming the middle house, getting upstairs, and finding Lumpy. I don't think he knows that Lumpy is in there, but he wants to get the high ground.
Oh my goodness, that grenade! SliderCon! Wow. Caught by the grenade from Fitz, a fantastic throw.
Wow, I cannot believe that worked out as well as it did. Good job, Fitz. Oh, but Fitz is gonna pay for it.
Brad is now on to C-Max's position. C-Max sending rounds down. Can he tuck behind the barrier in time? He can, but he's gonna re-peek, and Brad will win that engagement as well. And now it's a 3v1. Lightshaper rotating for the res here, but he's gonna have to be careful. Lumpy is on the upstairs. When he might peek this window at the exact time he needs to. He does indeed. Does he spot Lightshaper? He does. The bullets land, and Lords of War will pick up a second round and tie things up.
Man, this game is just neck and neck.
Yeah, they have been on a solid back and forth. Ryan heard me. He's tied up with Lightshaper now, 8-8. Those 2 early picks. A great back and forth there. A fantastic nade by Fitz. Todd, what did you like best about that?
Oh, that nade, just hearing Noman going, oh my goodness, that nade! It's so great to hear that.
Somebody clip that for Buxton. Somebody clip that for Buxton.
Yes, please do that for us. It was just a really good round from Lords of War. They really just held really good angles. They didn't rotate too much, but they didn't have to, since Ember wasn't really applying any pressure on key points. There was a point where they could have applied pressure to take care of that middle house, but opted to go for the res instead, and that ultimately is the decision that gave Lords the round here.
Yeah, I do tend to agree. Such a tough road. I think when you make that rotation, you just got to commit to it. Just run. Just get there. You know, get them up. If you watch teams like Globochem or G-Men or something, whenever they got somebody down, they don't crawl. They, you know, unless it's like in a hot war zone, they are sprinting there. They're getting them up and they're repositioning quickly. I think playing the slow play there for the res by Lightshaper was not the right call. But it did. Yeah. It worked out for Lords. It worked pretty well for Lords of War. Wookie, I mean, I don't know. You think this is the comeback? Are you feeling it?
I'm feeling it. Get the hype train rolling, because I'm feeling a comeback here.
We'll see what happens. The objective has shifted. We are now into our 5th round. Lords of War on the offense.
3595744.
Got codes being called out. So Lords of War looking to end this on this round. Ember just trying to hang on to their third map here in our series decider, and the smokes are coming in. The rush is hard. Hangman's already inside the house. 3 inside. Lightshaper on the downstairs. He's trying to... sorry about that. Hangman's the one on the downstairs pushing up. Slider does find that early rush. And a big pickup there for Ember as they've got 3 stacked on the middle house. Shots ringing out.
I do question the delayed rush there by Hangman. He should have just stuck to it and committed. He waited long enough for defense to take positions up there, and it's never good. You want to shoot them as they run to the front door. Ryan with a beautiful headshot against Milkman.
Ooh, I mean, that smoke is really keeping Hailfire on his toes. He's sending rounds down through it as much as he can. None of the offense made it there. Lumpy sending a couple rounds into the house. The reload should have been heard by Lightshaper as a couple of frags come in. Lumpy pushes through. He's coming upstairs. He does find one. And SliderCon is down on the inside upstairs. Upstairs center house is now Lords of War territory.
I love Lightshaper's positioning. I wonder if he's going to see Brad or you know, he just misses the opportunity to take him out. I know he heard that gunshot just now.
Smoke is way too long and pointing in the wrong direction. Unfortunately, Fitz's grenade luck is out, as he's not able to place that one effectively on the objective. Lightshaper should see Brad on the cross. He does indeed. But his position now given away and shots coming out. Lumpy is going to find C-Max on that position on the fence. It's a 2v3. Lords of War with the advantage. Hailfire does find Ryan on the quick refrag, but Fitz is looking for the feet of Hailfire here as he crosses the street.
Lightshaper's running upstairs, and now Lumpy and him are in the same region. They're so close to each other.
Oh no, Hailfire did not spot Fitz out as he crossed. Lightshaper looking for the pick. Lumpy should know. There's someone in this room. How is he not rushed out yet?
Oh, man.
And that is going to be how that ends. Lords of War take the round. Lightshaper not aware there was another one upstairs. Only downs Fitz on that push. And Lords of War will come away with a round win and take the lead for the first time here in map 3. Oh boy. Todd, what are your thoughts on that round?
Definitely looked like there was a lack of callouts on the Ember side. There, like, you see Hailfire, he's just looking back and forth, back and forth. He doesn't exactly know where this enemy is coming from, and obviously Fitz got the better of this. And no, I don't think Lightshaper knew at all that Lumpy occupied that upper house at all. Like, normally when I take the middle house, I try to, look in both rooms, make sure that we're clear, but that just didn't go through his mind. And, ultimately, Ember paid the price for that.
Yeah, absolutely. Wookie, what do you think Ember could have done different there? I mean, I thought their defense was looking pretty good for a little bit there. What do you think was the downfall?
I think they got antsy. I think that they just couldn't hold their positions and they got a little nervous. I think that's what ultimately did them in. I mean, yeah, I agree with what Todd said. Like, if you're going to rush into the house, he got that kill against Fitz, but then after that, he should have immediately started to clear the house because, that is a prime position for Marsoc to also be in.
Yeah, I definitely agree that it seemed a little disjointed there. I think Lords of War did get a little bit lucky in a few of those situations. It could have definitely gone a different way.
I think they just got a little loosey-goosey on that last one. So we'll see what happens here with this.
Well, round 6 is underway. Lords of War on the defense. They've got the defensive advantage here. Can Ember pull off a comeback Marsoc win here? After leading the map 2-0 early, they've given up 3 points unanswered.
That's terrible. I mean, that has to be a little crushing to your morale when you lose 3 unanswered points on Suburbia.
Slider.
Those early smokes. I don't really know if they're gonna be fully utilized here.
Slider sending a few rounds down through. Hailfire looking for the window on Hangman. Not going to find that early. Fitz should be hearing these shots. I wonder if he's going to rotate. Ryan is going to find C-Max, but the quick refrag from SliderCon comes in.
Hailfire is just going for it. No one even notices. All these smokes are... Oh, there it is.
Oh, yeah, he did get caught, and SliderCon goes down on the backside of the house. And that is going to leave Ember with 2 versus 4. Lightshaper in lane 1 here. Taking some rounds. He does find Lumpy.
One down tank.
On the street at the cross, he sees Fitz through the wood. I'm sorry, through the bushes. Doesn't manage to find that pick. Fitz rushes in to try to get anybody capping. Fitz does spot Slider. He rushes the corner. He's got the machine gun. Slider couldn't reload in time. Milkman does find one, but it's a trade. Lightshaper is the last one left. It's a 1v2. And I don't know where to put my camera.
You know, it's so sad. There was so much smoke, but still not enough coverage in the right areas.
Oh, and Lightshaper's in trouble. The bullets coming in from underneath. Lightshaper does find one. Hangman goes down. It's a 1v1. It's all up to Lightshaper. Can he land these shots, Brad?
I wouldn't do this. Lightshaper.
He does.
Oh
He
my
wins
God.
it out. He wins it out, and Ember hang on by a literal thread. On a very dangerous peak, Lightshaper able to make the pickup, and we're going into a 3-3 series. Lightshaper with 13 kills on the round, Ryan with 10 for Lords of War. Todd, tell the folks at home what your insane thoughts are.
Good job, Lightshaper. Definitely a very high stakes round there as Ember tried to just put it all or nothing there with Hailfire trying to go for the cap. Didn't work out, but luckily Lightshaper was just there holding the team up by a thread. And now we go into a 3-3 Lords of War. I don't even... This is the ideal ending, I think.
This is...
One round to decide it all.
Yeah, this is some... top tier stuff. We're watching some fantastic play. I mean, really... I don't know. I feel like both teams deserve this win, you know? They've both played 2 maps fantastically. Bazaar going the way of Lords of War, and deservedly so. Same for Snow Peak, aside from that final round where ruling had to be made, but still they were in the lead. They were on a defensive run there. They seem to have control of the map. And now we're coming into Suburbia. Both teams seem to be pretty strong on it. I can't call it.
May I interrupt you for a second?
Sure.
It's my favorite objective, Middle House. I don't think there's any better way to end this.
Yeah, the Middle House rush is going to be the Lords of War, the hill to die on, so to speak. It's going to be Ember's job to keep Lords of War out. Can they do it?
I am so nervous for Lords of War. This is the last objective I would ever want my match point to ride on. You know, like this is the most difficult to attack on.
It absolutely is, and we're seeing the push through. They are coming in hard and fast. We're seeing the smokes come into the backside of the house. The defense not quite in there yet. Those smokes, somewhat effective. That bottom floor one is actually pretty good. No, the red one's not bad either. It's got coverage on the stairs. I don't think that's what they wanted out of it. A little bit of pre-fire coming out from all of the lane 4 offense.
I'm happy to see that Lords of War are taking it slow, although Brad and Hailfire might see... Yeah, Hailfire finds Brad on the cross.
Hailfire.
Is he going to get refragged, though?
It doesn't look like it. Hangman's tucked in. Hailfire sending a little bit of pre-fire through that fence.
I don't know. Once that smoke is gone, he's going to get pinned there.
Oh, no. Can Hailfire find 1 or 2 here? Fitz peeks the corner, finds Hailfire on the outside. Now it's just the 4 upstairs. Looking to make the defense happen. Lords of War with 4 as well. C-Max tucked in low. Milkman on the corner of the stairs. Slider and Shaper at the top. This is prime nade territory.
It sure is.
I
hope
understand.
so.
I totally get it, Ember, but you are asking for it. You are just... you are begging for somebody to cook and throw a nade up in there and kill everybody.
You know, I hate to say this, but if this was like a beginner's match or something, like oh, there we go. Lightshaper just told everyone, hey, spread out. We're way too close to each other. Lightshaper is totally concerned about that frag kill, but yeah, I don't know. If this was like beginners or something, I feel like someone would have thrown a grenade up there already.
I'm surprised not to see one. A little bit of pre-fire coming out from Hangman there. Maybe he spotted the head of somebody. I'm not sure. I didn't quite catch his angle, I don't think.
He had to have seen someone's head. I mean, there's so many heads up there.
It's just a shooting gallery, basically.
It almost is. He could literally blind fire and he might kill somebody.
That smoke not going to be very effective. Ryan on the back side of the house. Little frag coming out there from Slider to check. Not going to find anyone either.
Yeah, if you look at that smoke, it's unfortunate to see that because you can't reposition it. It's out of reach.
Ryan setting up a smoke here. Looks like it's going to be pointed upwards to try to blind the upstairs. And
interesting play by Fitz to pre-fire that. He's given up his location, hoping that maybe someone like Ryan or Hangman can sneak in there.
Well, the push is going to be coming through. Ryan. That frag does not find any purchase and almost team kills. Could have killed two of them.
Almost takes out Hangman.
And if you're Ember, you're hearing all this shuffling downstairs. You know it's coming. Lightshaper sending a few rounds towards Hangman.
I really hope Lumpy doesn't get team killed by Hangman. Oh, he just BD'd it right up the stairs.
Staying up here, Fitz at the bottom of the stairs. Milkman is going to find the pick on him, and quickly Lords of War dropping like flies. Milkman might be able to spot Hangman out here at the bottom of the stairs once his smoke clears up. Surprised he didn't see him already.
They have to play it slow. I don't know why they're playing it so fast. Oh, Hangman.
And there it is, getting a little crazy there at the bottom of the stairs. Milkman gonna find another one, and now it's all up to Ryan. He's been the MVP, debatably so, with a few other players. But if he can pull off a 1v4 with 2 minutes left, I don't think he'll have to fight anyone for that title.
I really hope he finds a grenade off a body and just chucks it up there.
Oh, it would bear fruit, you know?
It certainly would.
Okay, we'll see how his approach is. We're actually going to tag along in first-person view as he decides how he's going to make this approach.
He's going for that smarter play, although, you know, he only has 90 seconds on the clock here.
Yeah, I don't really know what the smarter play is here, to be honest.
I mean, I was starting to say that, and I realized how much time was on the board. I was going to say, like, to go into spawn house and try to pick off some people. Oh, no, he blind fired a dud. He's blind firing positions. He's going to have to reload. Hopefully he doesn't get caught with his pants down.
He's got a fresh mag in. Milkman's looking for it. He's laying down, trying to catch the angle. He heard the shots. All of Ember here just wants this to be over. They're all sweating, I bet.
This is 45 seconds on the clock with 4 people still up. I don't know. I think Ember is playing it smart defensively. No one is extending themselves too much. About to have that 30-second warning.
As watch would have beeped there to give the... And yeah, it sounds like Ember does hear him. Ryan shooting a little bit into the corner. He's got to pop up, but there's 4 of them up there. And there's not a whole lot that he'd be able to do. And Ember celebrating a little bit there towards the end, but they will, in fact, take the map and the series here 4-3. Oh boy.
Lightshaper, 13-4. Man.
Yeah, he absolutely dominated that map in a big way. Todd, what were your thoughts on that final round?
It could have gone both ways at the beginning, but Ember is just holding their angles up top. Just really worked magic and were able to kind of hold it through and be able to get the W here.
Wookie, any final thoughts on that final round? I mean, we talked our hearts out there while they were working on it.
You know, it's you love to see the 3-3, but once it goes tilted in a certain team's advantage, it's just like, it's kind of sad, right? It's like, if only they had done certain things a little bit smarter, you know, played some positions more conservatively, you kind of wonder how it would have played out, especially on an objective like Middle House, where if you had thrown a grenade up there, you probably would have downed 3 people. It is what it is, though, right? I mean,
it is indeed. Well, I mean, it has been a fantastic series to watch. We do appreciate everybody tuning in. I believe we do have a special treat for those of you that have stuck around towards the end of the map, as our correspondent on the field, Todd, here is going to try to get a quick interview with the 2 captains of the teams we just watched. We're going to throw to a quick intermission before we do that, so stick around if you want to hear from Hailfire and Fitz. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a couple of minutes. All right, ladies and gentlemen, a special treat coming for you here in just a few moments as we get all of our folks into the center of cargo, our little interview room. Until we get an interview room. I'm going to fight that we get an interview room. But we are going to have a quick chat there. You can see at the top, we've got the captains on Marsoc. Got the captains of both sides, Hailfire and Fitz, both. Just kidding. It looks like Todd's going to have to go to them. There we go.
Y'all are the slowest.
All right, so now we have got.
All right, I'm gonna hold myself hostage here.
We have got
Yeah,
Todd
serious guys. I'm holding myself hostage.
and Hailfire and Fitz, and they're gonna run a quick interview here
We're friends.
between the two.
Alrighty.
Okay, all right.
See?
All right.
I'm gonna let Todd take over
You're
here.
the victorious one, so. All right, Hellfire, you're the victorious one here. I'm gonna have you do first. What was the mentality behind that comeback?
Bizarre, we had a lot of errors. They did really, really, really well. And then there were several moments where we thought we connected that we absolutely didn't, and it bit us in the ass. But that's not a takeaway from them. They did really, really well at Bizarre. So by the time we got Snow Peak, we wanted to finish it. And we were doing well. I hate that it ended the way it did, but then, yeah, I don't know. We were mad we lost Bizarre.
I'm glad that you mentioned the way that it ended. What happened there? We were kind of a little, out of the loop.
Apparently, well, we had a one guy drop. He in the previous round, I think it was the round before that, he stepped on his cable and pulled it, and then so I don't know if it happened again, but I think he dropped on the last round, and we get in before the bell rings, and we're sitting there going, wait, there's only 4. Quit. Everybody quits. Unfortunately, one of my new rookies, we didn't ever teach how to quit. So he's sitting there like, how do I quit? I see him. He's like, where's the quit button? He's looking at his tablet. He had no idea. So it's, you know what? I take that as a,
don't quit.
Yeah, pretty much. Well, yeah, but I, you know what? I just said we'll take that. It's a teaching moment, and I'll take that. I tried just to be absolutely fair. So it's our fault. We'll take the lumps for that, and mainly because it's also too much of a pain in the tail to get back to that same objective and all that. So I'm fine with it, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah, now you guys had a bit of a roster change in between the seasons here.
Slightly.
My mic. How do you guys like in the new roster? I believe they're all from the Rookie Bootcamp tournament that Lumpy had, right?
Yep, we picked up all 4 rookies that Lumpy had on his Lumpy's Dumpies. I don't know what their name was, but I'm just going to go with Lumpy's Dumpies. I like that. But yeah, that's probably not nice, but whatever. Yeah, we took all 4 of the rookies. Mainly, I was a little upset because they didn't get to have the actual rookie tournament, but you know, that whole thing never happen. So they came in a lot fresher than I thought they were going to be. I thought they'd have at least a tournament's worth of practice or real game experience. So
they're good.
But they didn't. Scary. But you know what? They've been doing great, and it's kind of nice. I get a bunch of players that don't have bad habits yet. So if they do something poorly, like don't know how to quit, that's my fault. So.
All right. A question for both you guys. Coming out of this game, what are the things that you think both teams will need to improve on, respectively, both of your teams? Starting with you, Hellfire.
Repeaking. We had several times one of our guys went down, another guy got really nervous and freaking out, and then he ran right into the same fire. It seemed like it happened over and over again, and there was a few places that our defense didn't seem to line up right. Like we definitely were way too heavy defending one side, opening up another, and it really bit us in the end.
And you, Fitz?
I would have to say probably just confidence for one thing. We have a couple, like I said, most of the rookies, and most of them were in there tonight. Only one rookie wasn't here. Confidence and just basically learning all the various spots, because we've gone through a lot of the maps, but a lot of the ones such as Snow Peak, even though it's an official map, I can tell you that I get lost on it still myself. So mainly map work and just working as a team, and that's kind of why I like taking them out of the rookie tournament, because they had already worked together.
Did you, like that last round, I got to ask a question about that. What was going through both your guys' minds for the round that decided it all? Starting with you, Hailfire, the victorious.
I was hoping Fitz would hurry up and die so I could talk crap about his team and he could talk back. Fitz and I we're real tight with this kind of stuff, so I knew if he died, him and I, we could make bets back and forth, talk crap about each other, and it would make it more entertaining. And that would keep me from having the heart attack I was an inch from having the entire time. So
Yeah.
that was about it. My guys know what to do, so I don't really feel like me sitting there saying do this. They typically can hold their own without me.
I'm going to put you out there. Fitz.
My response, I wish I didn't stub my toe on the corner of the couch, I think was what happened, basically. I got stuck on the couch running in, and
No, hang on,
that was
hang
my
on.
whole thought. Get in there.
I've been to your play space. I don't
Not the
remember
real
a
couch. Not the real couch. I'm
the
virtual
fake
couch.
one, the small one.
Yeah,
Oh,
I
it's
got
the
stuck
virtual,
on it on
yeah.
the way in.
There
That
you
was
go,
my
yeah,
thought.
All right, you have
Actually,
20 seconds left. First one to cap wins. Go.
Cap.
Well, that's not very sportsmanlike there, Todd, ending that interview in classic Onward fashion. Pretty good stuff. Both great teams. Both did a fantastic job. Thank you to the captains there for doing the interview. Thank you for Todd for running that for us. We do appreciate it. Well, that is going to do it for the series here, folks. The final score coming out, Lords of War picking up 9, Ember picking up 10, and that's going to make the final score 10-9 in the way of Ember. 2 maps going their way. Wookie, any final thoughts about this game or anything in general?
You know, Ember played such a good game. It was good to see them play the way that they did after I played them on Mayhem. So it was quite an entertaining game to say the least. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah, it was indeed. Todd, if you're still around, do you have any final thoughts on the matchup, on the interview, anything you'd like to pass on to the folks at home?
All right, yeah, Fitz is really reluctant to cap. That's what I've learned about this match so far. It's just a really good match overall, just to be able to see both these teams kind of duke it out, especially with Lord of War, with the